Okay, so I think we're going to go for it if everyone's happy with that. Just be aware, I'm operating off 2 screens, so sometimes I might just look over here, but most of the time I should be focused on here and seeing what's going on. So there we go. Now, welcome and thank you very much for joining us on our Success Pathway deep dive. I'm just letting people in the room, that's it. So the Success Pathway, this is our, what we perceive to be as the critical success factors, if you like, the path you need to tread in order to make your EU succession a success. So that's what this webinar is about. And I'm going to give you as much information as I possibly can as we go through. So my name's Andy Hooper. I'm the CEO here at Global E-Commerce Experts. I've been involved in e-commerce for over 10 years now. I've got a really good understanding of the EU markets. You first launched my first product in Amazon in the EU, in the UK, back in 2006, silicone watches. That's where it all started for me. So I've got a real good understanding of the EU markets. And really, I'm here to successfully expand you as a US typically based seller into the EU. That's what we've really focused our efforts on over the last 5 years, is really working with overseas sellers to really make the EU expansion a success. We currently work with 15, well, it's got 1,000 there, so it's, we do this presentation once a month, so we've increased to about 1,500 now. Now, there are a few options. I've already mentioned the chat room, but if you wasn't online when the chat room started, there is a chat room where you can go on and ask any questions. There is a Facebook group that we have where our clients can come and join us. It's called GEE Expanders. So go to Facebook, GEE Expanders, where we're going to be doing a lot more than we currently do, but you can join like-minded people that have already expanded. So we'd love to welcome you onto that group. So that's enough about me. Over the last 24 months, we've successfully expanded 1,200 clients across all of our services. We do a range of services, which we'll get onto, I'm sure, at some point. But if you've not heard about some of the other things we do, then give us a shout. I'm sure we can help. But really, what I'm going to focus on now is that success pathway. Now, the hard way is to work all this out yourself. Now, I love this. So, Benoit Lecomte, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but please bear with me. 1967, French guy, decided that he would be the first person to swim across the Atlantic. Now, just under 4,000 miles. Now, he did that, swum from the US to the UK in 100 days. Now, that's a pretty epic swim. Now, actually, if you did the mileage of 100 days, 3,700 miles, actually, that person's got to swim quite a long way. So there is some sort of confusion on how he spent his evenings and sleeping on the support boat with the crew, because but whatever way you look at it, 100 days in the water swimming across the Atlantic gets my thumb of approval and seal of approval. So I take my hat off to the guy and well done. But that is the hard way. You can swim and you can do it all by yourself. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But hopefully we're going to try and fast track that a little bit and see if we can make that a little bit easier for you. So here's the easier way. You can go by Cunard's Queen Mary. It's 7 nights, 14-day return. It goes from New York into Southampton. Southampton Port is about 10 minutes from here. I've been very fortunate to see all the cruise liners come in and out of Southampton for the last 15 years. So that's, in all honesty, that's the much easier way. So hopefully we're going to give you that way now and give you as much information as we can. Hopefully this presentation won't go much longer than an hour. I'm trying to go through as quickly as I can to give you as much information as I possibly can. If you have questions, please put them in the box. I can't guarantee we'll get through to every single question, but we'll do our best. And any that we don't, we'll try and follow up with after, certainly. So that's it. I'm going to sort of crack on with this. Here's our EU success pathway. You're coming from outside the EU into it. Typically most of our clients, as mentioned already, come from the States. That's where we do a lot of our marketing. It's where we we typically come across to. So that's why we use this diagram, and yeah, that's where you're aiming to get to, right? So the success pathway, there's 6 critical steps. I went like that for a moment, didn't I? So 6 critical steps. They're on there. There's no hidden secrets. I'm going to go through them one by one. Compliance, market launch, promotion, website, Pan EU, and fulfillment. They're the 6 steps. Now, that is our framework, if you like, but I'm going to go into that in more detail for you so that you've got as much information. Now, I want to spend sort of 5-ish minutes, 10 minutes on each one if we can, and we'll see where we get to from there. So stage 1, compliance. Now, compliance is the first thing you're going to need when you expand. And actually, what I'm talking about here, this framework, this success pathway, in all honesty, could be used when you're moving to any other country. So, you know, whilst we've designed this specifically for the EU, but when I think about it, it could easily be done if you're going from the EU to the US, if you're going to Australia, India, China, you know, all these different countries you could do that from. So it makes perfect sense. I'm losing my voice already. We've only just started. That's not good news, is it? So there are 3 core elements of this stage: VAT, labeling, and the payment side. And I'm going to take those off step by step for you. So let's first off start by VAT. VAT is the first step to make sure your business is legally registered to sell in the EU. It's really straightforward. It's really simple. You take your American business, register it for VAT, and you're VAT registered. It's a straightforward, simple process. Now, most of you guys are already our clients, and the advantage of being our clients is probably you are VAT clients. So therefore, you've probably got a lot of that information. So I'm not going to go overcomplicate that, but that's certainly the first piece of information that you need. Now, the second part is the compliance of labels. Now, we are not talking about the image on the right here. We're not talking about the label that goes on your product, the barcode, all right? We're not talking about your Amazon SKU, Amazon ASIN barcode that you need to put on there before it goes into Amazon. We are talking about the labeling of your product, specifically those people that have supplements, food, medicines, pet products, pesticides, anything that might be deemed slightly controversial is where you need to make sure that the compliance of your product is correct. So there are a few things to think about when your labels are compliant. You cannot just bring your US-based label and expand to Europe with it. It just doesn't work. It's just not compliant in those cosmetic, health, and food categories, typically. Now, the other thing to mention is that every single product that you send to the UK or the EU must have on it a UK or an EU-based address, all right? Now, virtually every single one of our clients probably fall foul of this, despite us mentioning it on hundreds of occasions that they need to do that. So you need to make sure at the very least you have an address on there. If you don't have an address on there, you need an address on there, you're one of our VAT clients, then speak to your VAT consultant and we can help you out with that and advise. But if you've got labels, you need to make sure they're compliant. And it's a really, really simple process. You need to basically submit them, they get agreed or get told what you need to do to change that, and then you find out what you need to do to resolve it. Straightforward and it's easy, but you need to make sure you do it. There are some really simple things that you know, labels can't have on them. You can't have any claims on them that aren't substantiated. So, for example, you can't say that this magic pill basically will, will help you create weight loss if that does not relate to an ingredient on the product. So you can't make bold claims. It must have ingredients on it, not supplement facts, which I know a lot of US-based labels have. So that's labeling and compliance. And the last thing is payments. So I know this isn't technically compliance, but I don't know about you, but whenever I do business, what you're really looking to do is to serve your customers better. In order to serve your customers better, you need to make the right amount of money where you can. And getting the right payments from Amazon to you is absolutely crucial. Now, when Amazon pays you, Amazon will pay you directly into your US bank account. That's absolutely fine. You can be absolutely fine with that. However, they'll charge you 6%, right? That's an astronomical amount that you don't need to pay. What you can do is get your Amazon payments taken from Amazon into a Payoneer account. Now, we have no affiliation with Payoneer. We just believe they're one of the best options out there. You get that payment paid from Great British pounds into your Payoneer account in Great British pounds, right? Now, you haven't paid any transaction fee on that whatsoever. Now, if you was to withdraw that to your US bank, which I'm sure you would want to, then there is a charge of 2 to 3% to do that. So you've made a massive saving. Now, let's say that you need to pay some people in the UK. You might want to pay HMRC, your VAT bill. Well, if you have a Payoneer account, your money is in GBP there. In your Payoneer account, you can pay Amazon, you can pay HMRC direct from your Payoneer account in your GB pounds. Now that is absolutely amazing. So Amazon's paid you into Payoneer, Payoneer has paid into HMRC. You've paid no transaction fee, right? Typically, you'd have had the money come back to you in the States, 6%. Then you have had to wire that information to HMRC at a minimum of a £40 fee. You've made a massive saving. So if you haven't done already, go set yourself up with Payoneer. It's straightforward and it's easy. Now, that's sort of compliance. And the reason I've skipped through that is because most of our clients are already VAT registered. And looking through the list, I can see most people are VAT registered. And the compliance side, if you need your labels checking, then please get in contact with us and we can do something around that. So what I wanted to do is really move on to stage 2, marketplace launch. Where are you going to launch your product? Where's the best place to do that? Now, there's 3 steps to the marketplace launch. You've got to decide on the marketplace you want to launch on, or the marketplaces. You've got to ship your products, and you've got to translate your products. Because whilst launching in the EU is a massive opportunity, you have 5 languages. Therefore, you've got 5 different marketplaces, 5 languages, 5, anyway, we'll come on to translations in a moment. So, where are you going to launch your product? Now, dependent on your product is going to depend where you're going to launch that. Now, a lot of clients we work with already work with Amazon in the US. So it makes perfect sense to launch in Amazon in the EU. Totally makes sense. But what other options are there? What's the omni-channel experience that you need to engage to make that work best for you? Now, eBay's on the screen here. eBay's having a rocky road here in the UK, I would suggest. It seems to have changed hugely in how people use it and engage with it. And a lot of that's down to the fraudulent sellers that have been on there. They see Amazon as a respected brand. If you have an issue on Amazon, as you know in the US, a customer complains, they resolve it straight away, done. eBay hasn't really gone down that route and it hasn't really resolved it. So what happens is consumers have lost faith with that. And I know that everyone complains that Amazon's too soft with a lot of clients and that, you know, they basically let people have reviews and all that sort of stuff makes it a little bit more difficult. But actually, Amazon's grown in customer base and eBay seems to be dropping off. What we do suggest for eBay, though, is perhaps when you get your returns, putting them on eBay. You know, when you get your non-fillable inventory in Amazon, you can get that returned to us, for example, in the warehouse, and we can repackage that, send it back to Amazon if you wanted, or you can sell that on eBay. There are other platforms you need to consider based on your products. So we've got a lot of clients that sell on their own website, and we'll come on to that later because we put that a bit further down the line because it adds complications. Now, the other thing you consider is Etsy. Etsy is a really good marketplace, but when does it work and when doesn't it? You know, then there's OnBuy, there's OneBuy, there's all these different places that you can go, but you need to research what works best for your product. If you're not sure, give us a shout. We've got a complete list of all of the marketplaces and which ones of our clients are using which to make the best inroads. Amazon is by far the biggest, therefore it has the best return. But there's also the most competition. So that's where you're then going to weigh that up. Right then, so that's your marketplace launch. The next thing to think about is shipping. Once you've launched on that marketplace, well, or once you've got set up on that marketplace, what you need to do is your listings and everything else. You get all that done. The next thing you need to consider is shipping. Now, how are you going to get your products from wherever they are in the world to the UK? Now, you really want to start that really simple. So when you launch on Amazon, you want to probably start with the European Fulfilment Network. The EFN network basically takes all the products from the UK, and then when someone wants to sell their product, so you say, well, all of my products are going to be in the UK. Well, on the European Fulfilment Network, and what we're going to do is we'll launch our products in the other marketplaces, so Germany, France, Italy, and Spain. But we're not going to put our products there, because the moment your products are there is the moment you have responsibility to be VAT registered in those countries. So ideally, you don't want to do that straight away. You basically want to fulfill from the UK first on the European Fulfilment Network and get that sorted. From there, what you then do is you then ship to the other countries. There are thresholds involved, which we won't worry about on this webinar, but our VAT consultants will keep you updated with that. But what you've got to do is get your products here in the first place. So you need to use a decent shipping company to get your products into the UK. Now, depending on where you're shipping them from, whether that be the States or China or India or wherever else your products come from, you need to consider that. Now, for ease and speed, what we recommend is taking a small amount of products and flying them over. Just don't worry about shipping them, fly them over and get them in the marketplace and start selling. Because the biggest problem that everyone has is they sign up and they don't do anything. So it's crucial that what you do is you get your products and just get some here. That's really, really crucial to basically make that happen. So what you do is you take the products and you fly some here. At the same time, you start shipping some on a container from wherever they come from in the world. That'll give yourself 30 days, give or take, where you are in the world, to basically get them into the marketplace. So I've got 2 questions that have just come in. Howard, I already have stock outside the UK since I enabled Pan EU without knowing. If there's any way I can move my inventory back to the UK somehow, any services? Okay, so once you've triggered the Pan EU, it's really difficult to turn that off, because what you're going to have is all your inventory across the different countries. We're going to come onto the Pan EU in a moment, so I don't want to complicate that by bringing that up too early. But yes, there is a solution around that, and we can talk about offline on that. Dan, how will hard Brexit affect Amazon warehousing distribution? Dan, we're going to have a Brexit webinar next week that's going to be solely focused on that. The chances of a hard Brexit is incredibly slim now we have a deal. The deal will be happening. It will happen on the 31st of January. We have a deal in place. The chances of a hard Brexit are about 5% now. If you'd asked me 2 months ago, I'd have said 95%. So that should make that a lot easier. Also, should we include VAT in selling price, or does Amazon charge? No, you need to include the VAT in the sale price of your goods, Amazon doesn't charge it on top. Okay, so marketplace. Paul, question, what percent? VAT is 20%, if that's the question. So basically, marketplace launch, you sign up to the marketplace, you basically then create your listings as you would do in any other country. Then you've got to sort out, whilst you're doing that, you sort the shipping out. And then the last thing on the marketplace launch is sorting out the translations. So there's 3 options for translations. Now, the first one is free, it's easy to do, and there is no excuse why you don't do it. We work with 1,500 sellers, and all of them, when we do the returns, we know whether people have translated their products or not. It's literally daylight, because we can see the percentage they are selling in the UK against Germany, France, Italy, and Spain. So to give you a broad understanding, the UK, if the UK is at 100%, Germany should be at least 70 to 80% of that. France should be around 50%. Italy and Spain is around 20%, like give or take. Now, there are a huge amount of anomalies to that based on your product. We're working with a client at the moment whose sales in Germany are higher than what they are in the UK, because the product resonates better with German clients than it does the UK clients. It's just how it is, yeah? France, on the other hand, for that same client, is nowhere near 50%, it's more like 15%. So there are some differences and anomalies, but we can see those and look at those. But really, translations are absolutely critical. So the first thing you need to do is free. You go to Google Translate, you put your product in and you translate it. But that's not just your listing, that's the keywords. The keywords need to be in your listings. You all know this sort of stuff. It also needs to be in your ads, and your ads and any sort of negative keywords and things you're doing as well. Absolutely crucial. And you need to make sure that all of that is translated, because if it's not, it will affect your sales without a shadow of a doubt. So as I mentioned, the first thing to do is free. That's what you should do. And when you first launch, that's absolutely critical. So at this stage, you're just getting your listings up, you're just shipping the product. At this point is when you should do the translation and do a free translation. Further down the line, we're going to talk about more translations, but when you need to pay to do it to get a better translation. Right then, so, oops, I'm going ahead of myself. So that is marketplace launch. Really simple. You sign up to the marketplace, you ship your products, fly a small amount of products in first and ship the rest, and then translate your products. Free translation, Google Translate or equivalent, and you get that done. The only thing you need to be careful with the translation is when you're doing the title, you need to make sure it doesn't go above 160 characters for the EU marketplaces. Okay, stage 3, promotion. Now, you really need to make sure that when you're promoting your product, when you've launched your product, sorry, you're promoting it. Because if you don't promote your product, the chances of it actually selling in the EU is slim. I hate to tell you that, but that is the absolute reality, is that if you don't try to get sales velocity with your product in the EU, you don't try and get as many reviews as possible, you don't get the sales velocity, the chances are you're hiding to nothing and you're not going to be successful. So at this point, it's crucial to get the promotion going as soon as you possibly can. 3 areas: pay-per-click, discounts, and social media. So without much of ado, promotions. Right then. So here's one of the clients that we've worked with in the past, or we still do, I can't remember, I'm not sure which client this is for. But the first thing to do is turn on pay-per-click advertising, right? Really straightforward, really simple, and really easy. I mean, like, you can go to Google Ads. Google Ads? Why am I talking about Google Ads? You can go to Amazon advertising and go auto campaign, right? It is straightforward and as easy as that. Now, that's a great place to start. It's not a great place to end. It will cost you a huge amount more money than it needs to, but it's an amazing way of creating data and keyword research without much effort. You can just put a small amount of money on it, £5 a day, really straightforward, really easy, and basically just see what you can do going through. It's really easy, and that's what we'd recommend to do. So you basically need to launch the products, turn on auto campaigns, and start getting the basic information in your advertising report. But there's no point doing that if you don't then look at the advertising reports and start doing manual campaigns about 2 to 3 weeks after. No point whatsoever. You might as well just not turn ads on at all. So if you're going to turn automatic campaigns on, what you then need to do is start working on manual campaigns, but by using the advertising reports that are available to you. So really, really key. You're looking to start promoting your products, certainly with pay-per-click advertising. Again, really straightforward, really easy to do. There we go. Now, the next thing, vouchers. The one thing that we do see as a massive success here in the UK and across the EU is vouchers. Now, vouchers aren't available in Italy and Spain at the moment, but they are in the UK, Germany, and France. Now, depending on how competitive your product is, depends how valuable your voucher needs to be. If you've got a small amount of competition, a 5 or 10% voucher will be more than enough. If you don't have much competition, so if you have a huge amount of competition, you're going to have to go near 50 to 60%. Like, that's massive. But if you want sales velocity and you want to make it a success, that's what you've got to do. You've got to basically sell your products for zero profit for the first 3 shipments if you have a huge amount of competition in order to get sales velocity and reviews, because that's the only way you're going to win. All right. But the smaller amount of competition, the smaller the voucher needs to be and the discount you can do. It's really straightforward to set up. It's really, really easy. You basically go in, you put in a discount, and then you just put it in whatever it is. Straightforward. You can have a start date and an end date. I would just suggest you monitor it and only put one on at a time, because what you don't want is people being able to get a number of different vouchers and basically adding them all together and selling your products for free. Okay. We've seen it. We don't advise it happening. So just make sure you do one voucher at a time and start off with one product. Yeah. And you're looking to increase that velocity again. So you've got the ads, you've got the vouchers. And something we actually turned, for one client, we did an experiment for them where we actually turned the advertising off for the period where we did the voucher. And what we saw by having the voucher on was a 30% off voucher. The 30% voucher went onto the product and their sales went up by 300%. The number of vouchers that were used was minimal. It was about 20%. So actually they got 280% worth of increase, and they only actually had 30% off on 20% of that increase, which is absolutely amazing. So actually sales velocity and the organic ranking really, really helped with the promotion of the vouchers, which works really, really well. So the second thing to do is vouchers. And the last thing to do is social media. Like, it's really straightforward. It's really easy. Now, some of you will already have social channels available to you. Some of you will have an amazing social base. If you've already got an amazing social base, just tell them you're now live on Amazon. Yeah, really straightforward. Hi, we're now launched on Amazon. Please go to our website and please go to Amazon and you can buy our products. If you don't have a social following, then you probably need to start thinking about how you develop that and what that looks like. And you need to start telling people that your products are here. People will look, so the EU market will basically go through a number of verifications on your product before they buy it. So what they're going to do is they're going to look at reviews on Amazon. Then they're going to look at what social content you've got. And if they don't find anything there, they're going to move on to the next client. Really, really, really straightforward. So you need to consider your social interaction and make sure it's available in English in the UK. Now, if it's on social, clearly it's going to be available, but you don't need to worry about translating that all into other languages. Keep it in the UK, keep it in the US, just keep it in English. It's absolutely fine. Now, that's the 3 steps. Apologies, I went ahead a bit early there. So third step, promotion, pay-per-click ads, vouchers, and social. Straightforward, really easy. You can do all of that, turn it on, and it's simple. So step 4, website. Now, what's going to happen is you are going to get to a point where you start selling more and more products. That's what we want you to do. But at that point, you really need to start considering building or having or translating your website. And there are 3 different areas to this. You need a website, you need to build a list, and you need to consider your Dream 100. Now, I'm going to go into those 3 in a moment in a bit more detail. But really, what you need to think about is, how do I gain my business off of Amazon in the EU? Now, some of you will be a step ahead of this and already be doing that. That's absolutely fantastic. But what we suggest is you focus on the marketplaces first, then focus on your website. So website. Now, first thing to say is if you don't have a website, you need one. All right. Really straightforward, really easy. You can set up an e-commerce store on Shopify in a matter of minutes. There's almost no excuse to it. Now, when you're also on social, you can then also start sending your traffic from social to your website. That's really, really powerful because they can send it. Then you haven't got all the Amazon feeds and everything else as well. Absolutely crucial. So you need to build your website. If you've already got a website built, here's the trick. You need to make sure that when someone from the UK or Europe, it looks at your website, it doesn't come up in dollars. It needs to come up in pounds or euros, depending on where they're based. Now, if you're not sure if your website does that, then give us a shout and I'll have a look at your website for you, no problems at all. But basically, you need to make sure it's in pounds or euros, because if it's not, they see it in dollars, they're just going to turn it off straight away. So you need to make sure you've built your website and you've got something that people can come to. Now, the second part is you need to start building a list, a database of a list of people based in the UK, the EU, where you sell your products. Because when you launch new products, you can then sell to them directly, let them know you've launched it on Amazon, let them know you've launched it on your website, wherever that might be. But you're building a list of people in the EU, not just the States. Now, if you're not doing this in the States, I'd also suggest you're doing this in the States, by the way. But I'm talking about the EU here. Absolutely crucial you do that. And the third part is the Dream 100. There's a great book on the Dream 100. If you just, it's a goat farmer Dream 100. I can't remember the guy's name. It's gone off the top of my head. But if you research that, some of you may have heard of it. Really, really powerful. So basically, who is the top 100 people that are going to help propel your business to the next level? In a nutshell. So what does that look like? Who are they and how do you need to do that? So for example, this is our Dream 100 board. If you'd like a copy of it, then please give us a shout and we're happy to share this with you. So you can see there, we've got Dream 100, we've got 10 different boxes and we've got room for 5 at the top and 5 at the bottom. Now we got 10 in each, 10 by 10 is 100, makes it pretty simple. And we've got different channels. So we've got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, podcasts, US sellers, meetups, events, and industry influencers. Things we haven't got on there at the moment is Snapchat, because we're not 100% convinced that all of our market is on Snapchat. TikTok, we're not convinced all of our market is on TikTok. So that's why we've essentially made that relevant to our market, if you like. So, for example, we have got a list of the top 10 events that we want to go to that are the most influential for us. The industry influencers, who are the most, so let's take Amazon as the most industry influencer. So we basically made our mission, we're on Seller Preferred Network, and most of you probably came through the global selling team, and that's why you're with us, hence why you may be speaking to us. So that's how we've worked with the Dream 100 to basically help propel us. In the same way, you can do exactly the same for your products. Who are the most influential people that are going to help sell your product to your marketplace? Yeah. What's the best way of doing that? How are you going to do that in the best possible way? Who's the best people to help influence your brand? So really, really crucial, and you'll be absolutely fine. So that's the Dream 100. That's the website. So website, build a website. If you haven't already, you need to build one. If you've already got one, you need to make sure it's in pounds and euros. The second part, let me just go back a stage, list building. And the third start is your Dream 100. Now, all of that basically is the fourth step. The next step is step 5, which is the Pan-EU program, which comes on to one of your questions, Howard. We do not recommend doing this straight away. So the first thing I suggested at the beginning, once you're VAT registered, is the European Fulfilment Network. That's where you basically put all of your goods in the UK, and then you ship from the UK direct to the customer in the country they're in order to ship it to them. That's the preferred way of doing that, because that way you only have one way, you've only got to pay VAT in one country. Okay, absolutely crucial. So that's what you need to do. Now, once you've done step 1, 2, 3, and 4, the chances are you're starting to sell more. Now, at this stage, and what I've not added on here is translations. But what you need to do is you should be thinking about getting your listings professionally translated. All right. Now, what you should do is get them translated by native tongue translation. So that's what you need to do. Native tongue translation, which will help propel your listings to get the extra 20% out of that marketplace. And I know I've just moved around the Pan-EU a little bit, but I wanted to make sure I got that in before I forgot. Okay, so Pan-EU. The Pan-European program on Amazon is an absolutely amazing product. What Amazon will do is you can ship all of your products to one location. Let's take the UK. You enable Pan-EU. It sounds like, Howard, you may have done that too soon, so I apologize. Basically, what you're then looking to do is you enable Pan-EU, and what Amazon will do for you, free of charge, might I add, is basically ship your products to 5 other locations around Europe. So Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Poland, and the Czech Republic. So basically what they're going to do is they're going to ship it around Europe for you, which means you can get the Prime badge turned on in all of those countries as well, which then means you can then get an extra 10% out of your European sales when you're on that program. So all of a sudden you're just eking out all the marginal gains that you can possible based on getting on this program. Now, there are 2 ways you're going to trigger this naturally. One is by pressing it and not realizing you're doing it. And the second way is by meeting the distance selling thresholds. Now, sorry, there was a strange noise coming out of my computer. Hopefully it's not going to blow up. So basically what happens is when you meet the distance selling threshold, let's say you're in the UK and you've sold 100,000 euros to Germany. Now, if you've sold 100,000 euros to Germany, what you then need to do is you then need to be registered for VAT in Germany anyway. So at that point, the easiest way of doing that is by then turning on Germany as a marketplace, but just Germany. Then you can turn on France, Italy, Spain, and all the others as and when they come. But basically, you're then looking to turn on Pan-EU shortly after. You only really want to do this when you've started selling at least 6 figures, all right? Because when you get to 6 figures, 100,000 plus, you're then starting to think, well, I can start maximizing my opportunity here. And that's when you're then thinking, right, now we can start making progress, all right? So Pan-EU program, you want to enable that. Once you've sort of gone through those other steps, you don't want to do that too soon. Now, coming back to Howard's question, how can I move my inventory back to the UK? Well, by turning it off, will automatically bring it all back to the UK. However, that does take time. So Howard, we probably need to have a separate conversation about that, because you will have triggered VAT responsibilities in all those countries, and you may get suspended shortly if you haven't already. So get in contact with us afterwards, support@globalecomexperts.com. So do that to us and we can have a conversation after, if that's okay. So that's the Pan-EU program, step 5. And the 6th step is you've done all of that. You're really starting to sell significantly. You've got your own website. Now, when you've got your own website, what I would suggest doing is when you're fulfilling the goods, to keep the process simple, is fulfill out of Amazon, right? It's going to cost you more money. It's going to be less hassle, but it does mean you don't have to worry about third-party logistics, right? So just fulfill from your website through Amazon, job done. Simple. Now, when you start getting to, you've triggered the Pan-EU program, you know, your products are in different warehouses, absolutely amazing. What you could consider doing is having warehouses in all the different countries, which does make logistically a little bit more of a problem. But if you're on Seller Fulfill Prime, it's absolutely the right way to go. You can also fulfill before that. It's much cheaper to fulfill yourself than it is to do in Amazon. But you need to put this at the right step. So basically, you're looking to fulfill. You need, whether that's into our warehouse or somebody else's, it doesn't matter. But you need to make sure you're basically eking out all the profit you possibly can from your products at this stage. And by moving into a third-party fulfillment, a lot of our customers already work with third-party logistics in the States. So people are already doing that. You're well aware of the savings that it can bring. Therefore, why not do that in the EU? That's why it's the sixth step. A lot of people do this beforehand, but you can do that when you need to. A lot of people use this for the sort of bring a container in. So most Amazon warehouses will not accept a container. So what they'll do is they'll send a container into us. We'll unload the container and then ship that in pallets to Amazon. It's a really straightforward and easy process. Get in contact if you want help with that. But basically, that's the most simple and easiest way of doing that. But by step 6, fulfillment is where you're looking to do and fulfill yourself. Now, hopefully, that's given you all the information you need. They're the 6 basic steps. Compliance, marketplace launch, promotion. Promotion is the key. You then got website, Pan-EU, and fulfillment. They are the 6 basic steps. That's everything you need to do in order to successfully expand. But the key part is the promotion and the website. They are the 2 key things you need to do to make it a success, to get the sales velocity of your product. Just so you know, we've moved. We have moved. We've been to a much bigger warehouse and facility here. So that's, I'm not going to dwell on that for too long. So it's as simple as that. That's the 6 steps. You should all be set up in the UK with EU shipments. Now, that's not the end of our support. There's a whole load of information there where you can support us. There is a whole load of resources available that are available to you. I've given you the 6 basic steps, and hopefully you found the past hour useful, or almost hour. Hope it's been a great use of your time. We can't cover everything in an hour. So what I would like to do is take up just 10 minutes of your time so we can give you a special offer. Now, I know that a lot of our clients that come through this process, they do the 6 steps, and those that have the time and the resource to do it make this a success. The people that struggle are those that don't have the time and the resource to make their expansion a success. Okay, so this is where we're now going to think, well, actually, what could we do to support you to make that happen? All right, so we've put something together. So here we go. Look, giving you the easy way that our clients used to successfully expand. So that's what I want to do. Give you the real easy way. We've devised an EU expansion series for you that is absolutely free, and I'd like to give that to you now as a thank you. If you go to www.expandtotheeu.com, it's a completely free resource at the moment. We're starting to charge for that very, very soon. And I'd like to say thank you very much for listening. Here's a free resource for you, step by step, the 6 steps, everything you need to expand. All right. So I'm going to give you a bit more information you may not already seen, step by step, video, audio, a whole load of different stuff. Now, compliance. Here are the 3 things we do. Compliance, the VAT, product labeling. We've got our in-house 3PL, third-party logistics. we can do all of those things you can see on the screen, and account management. All right. Now, one of the key things we do, Howard, what was the website again? It's expandtotheeu.com, and that's expand, EXPAND, to as in the number, no, as in the letters, TO, expandtotheeu.com. Let me put it in the chat, expandtotheeu.com. You might need a www in front of that. So there's the link. So that's an amazing resource. So, and then we do the account management. We do a whole load of different things to really help you. Now, here's the thing. If you want, I mentioned at the beginning, the long way was 100 days. I then said that the easy way was the 14 nights. Well, if you want the fast way, then in the box method, then that's what I'm about to give you now. Okay. You know, basically you get to sleep and we'll do the work for you in a nutshell. And there's an element of that because you're sleeping over there while we're working in a lot of ways. So there is an element of that. But really what I want to do is focus on giving you the in the box method that's straightforward and easy for you. Okay, so if you do it yourself, here's what history tells me. It takes you 6 to 9 months to ship. It takes you around 40 hours to set up your EU account and then 20 hours per week to manage it. That's the reality of what happens. And 80% of people that do not pay for filing services do not successfully expand. 75% that paid for our filing do successfully expand. Therefore, what we do know is by paying for the service, that little bit extra, you go that bit further. And those that have the time and energy and focus make it a success. So take control. You can do this yourself. Everything we're about to talk about, you can honestly do yourself. I've given you all the resource. I've given you the 6 steps. I've given you the EU expansion series. I've given you everything to go away and take action to do yourself. Right? That literally is it. Everything is now down to you to go and do. All I'm going to do is give you in the box method for us to take over and do it yourself, in a nutshell. So you can use the EU expansion series. You can follow the step-by-steps. You have an account manager, hopefully somewhere with Amazon maybe. You've translated all your listings through Google. Now, what's the difference between success and not? The key difference is making time for the expansion. It's getting the listings correct, paying attention to the data, the keyword and daily management in the relevant countries, building reviews, sales velocity, and good stock levels. All of those things are absolutely key. And you need to be 100% certain that you've got the time to do all of those. Because if you don't, in all honesty, we do see people drop off their sales because they don't have time for it. You know, the EU has 514 million people, okay? 514 million, as opposed to the US was 350, 320, yeah? So the market is actually bigger in the EU than it is in the US. Now, the downside to the EU is it's split over 28 countries, 27 shortly maybe. Well, Brexit webinar next week, by the way. So, you know, that's the downside. It's in all those different languages. There's only the 5 marketplaces, soon to be 6 with Netherlands coming along very shortly. Look, it's really important for you to be able to make time for your expansion. You've got to make sure you're putting the time and effort in. You're looking at the data. The listings are correct. The keywords are correct in every single listing. You need to make sure they're right. Now, who does this work for? Okay, so look, sellers that want to expand quickly. Sellers that are looking, sellers that really want to make it a success. People that want to go, actually, Andy, I believe in my product. I know we can absolutely smash this. And I don't have as much time as I need to make this happen. Please help me. Yeah. So that really is it. You know, if you have the time and the resource to do this, I've given you all the resource, go and make that happen. If you don't have the time and the resource to do it, then let's jump on board and this is what this is for. This is for you. So here's what we've done. It's a 6-month, I've changed it to a 6-month accelerator program. So it's 6 months accelerator program of basically running your account for you in a nutshell. We're going to get you set up. We're going to launch you. we're going to create sales velocity, we're going to run your ads, we're going to get your products here, and we're going to make it happen for you. Yeah, we're not going to do your 6 steps because we can't launch your website for you. But what we can do is we can do the compliance, we can do the marketplace launch, we can do the promotion. We can really basically start to really push and make those first 3 steps as successful as we possibly can for you. So it's a 6-month accelerator program. So I'm just going to give you 3 case studies of people that we've done that for in the past. So here's one. We started with this client in March last year, and you can see what's happened. So in March, May, there was an increase. There was a decrease because of the seasonal productivity of their product. And then you can see what happened over Christmas, New Year. And then we've come back down and we're only halfway through the month for January. So you can absolutely see a massive spike in November with their products. Now, you know, this is us taking over their account in March. Now, we did their accelerator program for 6 months. And then what we did is we started running an account month by month after that as well. So we've basically run their account for 10 months now. And we've seen a massive, massive increase. So US-based seller, that's what we did. You can see the stats. So case study 2, we haven't finished with this client yet. We took over in October, and you can see the increase that we've had, 70% or whatever. You can really see the difference we've had. We haven't seen the increase we had on the first client, but every client is completely different. So we've seen a massive increase. The gentleman whose program this is really, really happy with it and absolutely loves it. And then the third one, this is during and after us. So we took over the account for them in February 2018. Then we ran it for them for a year, and then they stopped using us because they wanted to carry on running it themselves. And as you can see, sales have dipped since then. Not dramatically, but they have dipped. So we had a massive increase for them. This is based on all the number of items. So they sort of had a massive increase. We launched the product, it all went through, and then you saw the decrease afterwards. But we ran their account for them for 6 months after, worked really, really well. So 3 different examples, basically showing you that what we've done has worked, and it just shows that if you put the time and effort in, it really does make a massive difference. So here's what we've put together to make it as simple and easy possible. And what we've done is we've put everything you need or could possibly need into one simple product. So it's a 6-month program. So you'll get 6 months VAT, 2 VAT returns included in the price. Now, if you've paid for a year already, then we would just add 2 onto the end of your onto your invoicing for the next year or so. So you get 6 months VAT compliance, so two VAT returns. You get access to our expansion zone. You get 6 months of warehouse storage. So our average cart value for our customers in our warehouse is about just over £2,000. So the warehouse storage we do absolutely free of charge. Now I'll put an asterisk past that because our average cart value is £2,250. If you was to then basically bring storage in and you wanted to bring in 100,000 pallets, then clearly we'd have to charge more than that. But there's 6 months of storage capped at £2,250 on your warehousing. All right. If you wanted additional stuff done in the warehousing, like you want all your products relabeled, you want us to unload a container that's going to take us 20 hours. Some of that stuff does come as additional cost, okay? But the 6 months of warehouse storage, you can bring your goods in, we can store them for you. You could bring in a container, we can unload the container, we can send 5 pallets to Amazon and store the rest here. Like basically 6 months of warehouse storage is about 113 pallets, I think I worked it out to, 113 pallets a month. So unless you're going to bring store 113 pallets, which our average client won't or doesn't through this program to start off with, then you'll be absolutely fine. But that's our average cart value. So you could store 113 pallets. Oops. What else? 6 months return service. So your Amazon returns can be returned to us free of charge for 6 months. So you basically get the returns to us. We can look after them for you until you let us know what you'd like to do. The 6 months accelerator program account management. So our account management is basically £1,000 a month. All right. So you get our account management for £1,000 a month. That is us running your account for you on a daily basis to make the most of your account in the 5 EU marketplaces. So it's not just in one marketplace, that's in 5 marketplaces. Originally, when we set this up, it was 5 marketplaces. So there's £1,000 in every single marketplace. We now do that just for all 5 because of the software we've got and the processes we've got in place. So that's £1,000 per marketplace, just shy of 6 months account management. So the total value is £21,000, right? So that's a huge amount of money that our clients are probably spending with us on a regular basis in different areas. So I've got 2 options. I can go as cheap as possible to try and get as many as you to sign up as possible. But the problem with that is that, you know, we're not going to be able to give you the best possible service. So that's why we've opted for the slightly higher investment in order to make that a success. All right. So here's what you get: 6 months compliance, the expansion zone, the warehouse storage, the return service, the accelerator program, 21,000. Now, of all good programs like this, I've got a couple of bonuses for you. We'll translate your top 5 products in every marketplace. Because we offer the translation services, we'll translate those products and we'll translate them so that you basically have them fully translated in human native tongue translations. Your top 5 products translated. That's only going to be available for the first 30 people through the program this year. All right. So you need to be quick to get into that. So here's where you're going to get the 6 months compliance, the expansion zones, warehouse storage, the return service, the account management, and the bonus is £22,000. And I'm going to give you an additional bonus, which is our ebook, which is £47. So that's the compliance, the expansion zone, the warehouse storage, the return service, the account management, the translations, and the podcast, which is £22,000. Now that's a huge investment for anyone to make to launch their products in the EU. So here's what I've done. So if all this we did was to make your expansion happen pain-free, that'd be probably pretty good. Know that the experts in the market are handling that. We've expanded 1,500 clients, right? So we're used to dealing with this. We're well versed in helping American sellers expand to Europe. It's what we do day in, day out. We see the data from all of our clients, therefore we know what people do, how they do it, and we use that to our advantage with our account management. You know, it absolutely works really, really well. What we learn on one account, we can use somewhere else. We're just fast tracking your experience. Yeah, we're making it happen quicker. And it's clearly going to reduce your time and staff costs. Yeah, that's the point, is reducing your time and your staff costs. So what would that be worth to you? We can see why some people would pay £10,000 for this. You can see why it's a good deal at £5,000, right? So because you're special, you're already a client, and all the mumbo jumbo that goes with that, right? What we've done is we put that at 3,000, just shy of £3,500 today. Now, I've already told you that our account management is £1,000 per month. So if you was to phone me up tomorrow and say, Andy, we want you to look after our account on a month-by-month basis, it's £1,000 a month. Yeah, so that's £6,000. So what we're offering is £3,500 to basically get your account set up, launch it, and make it a success for cheaper than what our 6 months account management would be anyway. Yeah. Now, our account management, in all honesty, ranges from £500 to £1,000. But the service that we're offering here is the £1,000 service. Like, it's the all-in, it's no bars, it's basically making it happen for you, right? You know, for me, the biggest, for our VAT-only clients, the hardest thing for me to see is that our VAT clients expand, and what happens is they basically expand, they then don't put any time and effort into it, and because they don't put any time and effort into it, it never really happens, right? So you've got to make sure that you're putting the time and effort into it. And we can expand those clients really, really easy. If we took over their account, we can make it happen so much better. So look, £3,500, £3,497. You can go to the website. I'm just going to put it on the screen up here, so you've got it. And then I will fast track to the next slide. So expand to the EU.com/6month_prog. All right. So that's the link. That's what you need to do. Oh, I've put the link. Sorry, I've checked the link. Apologies. Let me redo the link again. I'm going crazy. Expand. I can't do expand to the EU.com. Right. Let's click on that. Let's just make sure that works. Okay. It's not working. What's going wrong here? Why is this not working? Right. Let me go to the website. Bear with me. Expand to the EU.com/6month_prog. Okay. Stand by. There's a problem there. That's not working. We'll come back to that. I'm going to send you an email with all the information in so you've got the right email address. That is wrong. That shouldn't be happening. We're going to some .com site. So I have no idea what is going to there. Expand to EU.com. There seems to be an auto redirect on that. We need to sort that out. So bear with us. I'll send that to you. So let me finish this off. I'm going to send you an email with all this information in. You're going to get a 30-day guarantee. Okay. So if for whatever reason you're not happy at the end of the 30 days, I'll give you a full refund. No dramas. Yeah. So here's what you're going to get. Yeah, it's £22,000 worth of value. Yeah, it's a one-time fee. Yeah, it's not a monthly fee. It's a one-off fee, £3,497. Yeah. The first 10 people are going to get a one-to-one call with me to help set this up. All right. So the first, you get a one-to-one call, set up call with me as well. And that could be for an hour or half a day, depending on what we need to do. All right. So £3,497. That is plus VAT. All right. But that's what it's going to be. Your VAT client, you'll get the VAT back. Howard, I'm already a VAT client. Is there a special? I'm already a client with you guys for annual VAT filing. Is there a special offer since I might be redundant? Okay, so as I said, the VAT, the 2 quarters on that will be added on to your compliance fee. So basically what will happen is you've paid for 4, but you'll get 6. So we'll add 2 onto that so that you've been paid for those, and that will be added on to your part because the program includes 2 of those already. So that's how that would work. So it's £3,497. I'm going to go away now, get the working, get the email set up, get an email sent out to you very shortly, and then you'll have the link to go and sort that out. If it doesn't come through, then please just email me direct, andy@globalecomexperts.com. Really straightforward, really easy. That is it from me. I'm going to stay online for any questions you've got. Hopefully you've got the 6 steps. If you want someone to do it for you, we'd love to do it. We're going to basically take your account for 6 months and basically make it happen for you. That is basically what we're going to do. It's really, really simple. It's really, really easy. All right. That's what we want to do. Now, is there any more questions? Go on, Jason. You said yes. What's the question? How can I help? Does label compliance get included? No, there's no label compliance included in this because labeling compliance is very, very different, because the problem with the label compliance is that there's a fee for the label, Then there's a fee for if any additional work needs on ingredients and so on. But if not, can we jump on to the front of the line if we're a client of this service? Yes, you can. No problem at all. I can fast track you. I could do that. But we set up a separate call for that, no problems at all, and we can make that happen. How does that? Let me know. Does that answer that, Jason? Perfect. Okay, so the link does work. I don't know why it wasn't earlier, but that is definitely working. So, okay, thank you very much from me. So you've got the 6 steps. We've got compliance. We've got marketplace launches. We've got promote, absolutely crucial. Website, Pan EU, fulfillment. Like, use the expansion series as well. Basically, go make this happen. If you want the support, you want the help, give us a shout. We'd love to help you. Get in contact with us. Thank you very much, guys. I really value your support and your time on the webinar. I know your time's valuable, so thank you very much. And I look forward to working with all of you in the near future. Thanks very much.